This week in Jamaica Now. Local government elections set for February 26. The JLP and PNP urge their representatives to run a clean campaign.
And we're ready to take them on.
Ban pillions. The Jamaican Bar Association says Mr. Vegas's proposal should be considered to help stem crime and violence. And where is Sashana Miller? The police are searching for a person of interest in the Melissa Silvera murder case. I'm Jovan Johnson and this is Jamaica Now. The country is officially in election mode after the government announced February 26 for parish elections. The polls were last held in 2016 and became due in 2020. Local Government Minister Desmond McKenzie announced the date at a meeting of the ruling Jamaica Labour Party's parish representatives in St. James on February 1. Prime Minister Andrew Holness, who was at the meeting, urged his party's representatives to run a clean campaign.
I gave last year an instruction to the Jamaica Labour Party communication arm that we must reform and revise our communications policy to take out of it false and deceptive information. You will not find the Jamaica Labour Party promoting, circulating, distributing false, degrading, nasty lies about people, programs, policies, or anything. We do not do that. And there are many members of the Jamaica Labour Party that I have had to personally call up. We don't need to do that. When they go low, we go.
And Mr. Holness appealed to voters to stick with the JLP, which he said has ushered in an era of stability in Jamaica.
In times gone by, you were struggling without hope, without real prospects of change happening. And why was this? Because our economy was floundering. Now, because you made a good choice to put a good team in, to properly manage the economy without being a burden on you, but bringing more resources, we are now able to put in place long-term programs to address these long-standing problems. Why disrupt that?
And the president of the opposition People's National Party, PNP, Mark Golding, says his team is ready for the local government elections. He told reporters after Thursday's election date announcement that the party has been waiting for 4 years.
We had told the government that it call we were going to take action and we were serious about that. And we're very happy now that time has come and the gate has been flown and we're ready to take them on. And I say to all of our supporters, get ready, saddle up, because we're going to show the Jamaica Labour Party government that time comes for a new government. First with the local and then afterwards with the general. Because the people of Jamaica want change. They want integrity in public life. They're tired of the scandals. They're tired of the high cost of living in a government that doesn't do enough to help the people who are suffering the most, so their lives can be better. They want to see the People's National Party with our tradition of caring for the people and building Jamaica, building institutions that can move the country forward and governing with integrity, which is what I intend to do. So we're very pleased that the date has finally been called and we're raring to go. And we look forward to a clean election, abiding by the rules, and I would say to all of our supporters, campaign hard but campaign fair.
Local government deals with things such as building approvals, markets and public cemeteries, parks and certain roads. Transparency International has called out Jamaica in its latest Corruption Perception Index (CPI) report. In its 2023 report, which was released this week, it declared that collusion among the powerful, as well as the overwhelming dominance of the executive over the Jamaican Parliament, has weakened Parliament's oversight capacities, creating conditions which it said are ripe for abuse and corruption. Transparency International says the executive's failure to close gaps in the governance framework weakens the pursuit of corruption cases involving organized crime and fosters impunity of high-level corrupt elites. Jamaica has a score of 44 on the CPI, with a ranking of 69 out of 180 countries. The country was also ranked at 69 for 2022, having moved from 70 out of 180 countries in 2021. Jamaica's score is assessed in a context where 0 is considered highly corrupt and 100 very clean. The murder investigation involving Melissa Silvera has taken another turn, with the police Thursday naming a woman as a person of interest in the case. The police did not give much details about Sashana Miller, whom they say can assist with their investigation. They said her address is in the corporate area. Miss Miller is being asked to turn herself in to the Major Investigation Division's office in Kingston or the Criminal Investigation Branch head office in St. Andrew. Meanwhile, lawyers representing Miss Miller are expressing strong condemnation at the police designating her a person of interest. Lead attorney and King's Counsel Valrenita Robertson on Friday accused the Constabulary Force of engaging in a defamatory portrayal of her client. She said the police confirmed earlier this week that Miss Miller was not a person of interest. News also emerged this week that the family court is to decide in whose custody the children of the Silveras will be placed. 42-year-old Melissa Silvera was killed in November last year. Her 52-year-old husband and land developer Jolyan Silvera has been charged with her murder. Mr. Silvera is a former People's National Party Member of Parliament. Initial reports were that Ms. Silvera died in her sleep at their home in Stony Hill, St. Andrew, but during an autopsy, 3 bullet fragments were discovered in her body, prompting investigators to launch a murder probe. And the Press Association of Jamaica has called for sections of the Gun Court Act to be repealed to allow the public and the media to have access to view cases. It follows the uproar after a Supreme Court judge barred media and family members from attending Mr. Silvera's first court hearing on January 25. The Court Administration Division, CAD, says it cannot release the settlement agreement between the National Housing Trust, NHD, and private developer Dexim Holdings because of a non-disclosure clause. The CAD told the Gleaner Friday that, quote, "We can only share the order but not the annexed schedule with the agreement because of the non-disclosure clause," end quote. Amid public backlash, the NHD had indicated the agreement could be accessed through the courts. The CAD provides administrative services to the judiciary. Now, concerns about the settlement were triggered following a Sunday Gleaner report that the NHD signed to a non-disclosure clause blocking the public entity from telling its contributors about the matter. The Gleaner first requested the order on January 10, a day after the parties advised the Supreme Court that their dispute was settled. The NHD sued Dexim in September 2022 after alleging that the company failed to deliver 200 houses under a $2.5 billion guaranteed purchase agreement signed in August 2019. Dexim has rejected the allegations and insisted that its efforts to meet the August 2022 deadline were impacted by COVID-19. The NHD is reclaiming $650 million that was advanced to the company. That money was secured by a bond through a local bank. Dexim is also to pay over $20 million to the NHD under the settlement. The Jamaican Bar Association, JAMBAR, says the government should seriously consider a proposal by dancehall artiste Mr. Vegas for a ban on pillion riders on motorcycles. It comes amid increasing reports of crimes such as murders perpetrated by persons on motorcycles and the ability to evade quick capture. The group says the proposal should be considered rather than trying to increase sentences as a move to fix Jamaica's crime problem. It says implementing long prison sentences do not address the real issues given the country's low crime-solving rate. JAMBAR says the proposal can be tweaked to require no male pillion or no adult pillion. It said similar measures have been adopted with good outcomes by other countries, including Colombia. Academic and administrative staff at the University of Technology Jamaica on Monday staged a silent protest to press their case for a better wage package from the government. The workers demonstrated at the campuses in Papine St. Andrew and Montego Bay St. James. Some of them also gathered outside the Ministry of Finance in Kingston.
We are not pleased with the salary scales received from the government. Quite frankly, they are breaching the principles that were designed to guide the compensation review exercise.
The package which was presented to the university staff is not in tandem with even the goal of the government of Jamaica to attract and retain the best. And so at this time, we've said a resounding no to what was offered, and we are in the process of, well, this is not a protest action, this is not a strike action, of sending the clear message that we are here, we need to be listened to, and the welfare of the staff must be, it's not optional, the welfare of the staff must be considered at all times. As this placard says, we broke and we want we money.
3 serving members of the Jamaica Constabulary Force died this week. Detective Constable Ramesh Williams died Friday morning after complaining of feeling weak overnight. He was reportedly taking medication for flu-like symptoms. He was attached to the Elliston Road Criminal Investigation Branch in Kingston. On Thursday, Constable Roshane Lee died hours after he was mowed down during a traffic stop along the North-South Highway in St. Anne. The police say a team was conducting vehicular checkpoint duties along the highway in Unity Valley in St. Anne when the driver of a Toyota Probox motorcar, who was reportedly traveling at a high speed, was signaled to stop. The driver, a policeman, reportedly slowed down and then sped off, hitting Constable Lee. The driver has since been found and taken into custody. And on Sunday, Deputy Superintendent of Police Delroy Johnson reportedly drowned while swimming at a river in St. Anne. He was assigned to the Counter-Terrorism and Organized Crime Unit. And the Clarendon Police are investigating the circumstances surrounding the death of a 76-year-old woman and her 38-year-old daughter, whose partially decomposed bodies were found at their home in Brandon Hill, Clarendon on Wednesday. The deceased have been identified as retired teacher Sylvia Smith and her daughter Natalie Larmond. According to reports, Miss Smith and Miss Larmond, both reportedly of unsound mind, lived together and were last seen on January 29. The Gleaner understands that samples of cooked ackee from a pot in the kitchen were taken for testing. And that's it for this edition of Jamaica Now, your weekly review of the big news stories. Send us your comments at onlinefeedback@gleanerjm.com. Follow us on X, formerly Twitter, and Instagram at Jamaica Gleaner, and on Facebook at Gleaner Jamaica. Like this video on our YouTube page, turn on the notification, and subscribe today. I'm Jolyan Johnson, and before we go, let's hear from singer Christopher Martin on some of his current projects.
Can you tell us more about the collaboration with Usain Bolt on the rhythm and how the project came about?
The collaboration with the legend. Well, I don't know, I'm in the GPR for years. So when he decided to dabble in music, whenever he calls, you know what I mean, we're there, you understand? The support is there. And he loves music, and I love music. So when you have 2 lovers of music coming together, you have to have great works.
With a focus on Valentine's Day, how did you approach creating music that caters to the romantic theme? And what was the inspiration behind the tracks you contributed to on the album?
The escape rhythm with all of the cadences and all of the vibes, the melodies of the instrumental. I feel like it speaks to you in a sense where it's like you have to sing a song where I deal with something love related. Even if it's like I wouldn't say negative. Even if it's like for my song, which is called Drive Me Crazy, which is like, you know, obviously if you listen to the song, it's 2 people that aren't really in a relationship, but they want to do them thing, you see me? Yeah, it is one of them vibe that's life. And then you have the other side, which is my all, which is saying like whenever time me and a special person link up, I give them my all. You understand? So, you know, the girls come first. It's never a race. You understand? That those are some of the lyrics that are a part of the song. So that's the vibe. Once you listen to that rhythm, you're not going to hear a song where I go say praise ye Jah or you know, big up. No, it's like you have to sing about love. That's what the rhythm gives you. That's the kind of vibe. That's the kind of energy.